I'm audible and visible.
Yes. I hope I'm also visible and audible both.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start. I feel so. Should we go or should we wait for 5 minutes? Like 3 minutes? We'll start in 1 or 2 minutes. Like,
Okay.
okay, starting. Okay, ma'am. Hello, everyone. Happy Environment Day. Welcome to our special live session on microalgae, the green powerhouse driving sustainable development goals. So, before we start our session, I would like to express my gratitude to everyone who have joined us here today. My name is Manvi Acharya, and my aspiration is to participate in the conservation, utilization, remediation, regeneration of forest land locally and nationally. And currently I'm a project intern in Sustaina Greens LLP. We have with us an audience today Dr. Meenakshi Singh, who is the founder and CEO of Sustaina Greens LLP. Sustaina Greens is a green tech consulting firm that offers technically feasible solutions to assist public and private sector organizations in characterizing, evaluating, quantifying, and managing their relationship with natural world and associated climate risks. So today in today's session, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Shivam Yadav, who is presently working as an assistant professor in University of Allahabad, and she has been an alumni of Banaras Hindu University. She has been a researcher at the Institute of Molecular Biosciences at Goethe University and Max Planck Institute of Biophysics, Frankfurt. She has 45 publications under her name, including Nature Communications and Environmental Research. So, a very warm welcome, ma'am, and let's start with your basic and let's start with your introduction.
So, good evening, everyone, and hi, Manvi. Those who have joined today, thank you for being here. So, I want to start off by thanking, first of all, Dr. Meenakshi and the entire team at Sustaina Greens for inviting me to speak here on microalgae. And I also thank to you, Manvi, for the nice introduction. So let's talk about microalgae. So the term itself has micro plus algae, so that essentially tells something. It refers to the microscopic group of algal species, and it can be broadly you can divide it into two groups, the eukaryotic one and the prokaryotic one. The eukaryotic microalgal species, they have all the membrane bound organelles, whereas the prokaryotic have the basic bacterial cell structure, right? So in layman words, you can say they are green plants, just like them, and but they do not have these leaves, roots, and stems. And they do have this magic chlorophyll pigments, which can trap the sun energy and can perform photosynthesis. Apart from these basic things, they have various added benefits, like they can survive in extreme habitats, like in hot springs, in extreme salinity condition, hypersaline environments, also in Antarctic, in deserts. So this stress tolerance gives an added benefit. Also, their biomass is quite rich in carbohydrates, ranging around 7 to 69%. And then they have high protein content, also like 15 to 84% of protein content, that is quite high. And the third one is the lipid, which is around 1 to 63% in the microalgae. So, in addition to all these macromolecular compounds, they do also have some secondary metabolites, which are really quite interesting. And today they are the need of the present day, like various pigments, the phycobilins, the carotenoids, and these are recognized for their value in novel product production. So that was the basic about the microalgae, Manvi.
Yes. So that was quite informative, ma'am. We'll be getting more into microalgae world slowly. So today we are diving here into fascinating world of microalgae and exploring how these tiny organisms are making a big impact on sustainable development. So we'll cover their role in various industries, their benefits, and how they're helping us achieve the goal in sustainability. Basically, we'll also have a question and answer session at the end. So stick around and feel free to drop your questions in the chat later on. So we started with a basic introduction of microalgae. So, ma'am, with second question, we would like to go like, could you tell us about some specific industries or sectors where microalgae are currently being utilized for sustainable purposes?
So, shall I move with the role of cyanobacteria in sustainable development goals as well, or are we going to discuss it later on,
Uh,
Manvi?
no, we can go with that also, ma'am. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to first of all, because the title we are having today is how the microalgae they are contributing in achieving the sustainable development goals. So I will brief it a little bit.
Okay.
So in 2015, I think the United Nations it set out 17 sustainable development goals, and they have to be achieved by 2030, and we all are going for the net zero by 2050. So these goals, which are known as SDGs, they aim to address some of the biggest challenges our world is facing, right? And each of these 17 goals they target a specific issue or opportunity that is crucial for long-term sustainability, right? So and there are a lot wide range of topics, reducing poverty to hunger, to providing clean water and sanitation. And as countries are working toward achieving these ambitious targets, they are exploring many different approaches and tools. And one area generating more interest is use of biological organisms. And microalgae in particular show promise in various industries due to their versatilities, as I mentioned earlier also, right? And they are being researched for renewable energy production. They have application in food, environmental management, and water purification itself. So, if we talk about the 17 SDGs, at least microalgae are contributing in 9 of the SDGs, and the majority one are SDG 2, SDG 6, 7, 14, and 15. So the two is to achieve zero hunger, right? And how cyanobacteria or microalgae are contributing to sustainable development goal 2 is by providing high quality protein, which can be used as a food additive for human consumption, and as well as a feed supplement for aquaculture and agriculture. Then some polyunsaturated fatty acids. We are running behind this omega 3 fatty acid, right?
Yeah.
So I will discuss a little in detail later on. So in this way, and also in certain health supplements as well as nutraceuticals for improved health outcomes. Then apart from that, in SDG 6, which is targeting clean water and sanitation, there also microalgae are involved because they are showing promising results in wastewater treatment. And the most important one is the SDG 7, which is affordable and clean energy. So, the feedstock, which is being used for third generation biofuels, their microalgae are playing very crucial role in driving this SDG 7. Then, by reducing the bioremediation or by reducing the diffuse pollution, also, they are contributing in SDG 14, which is life below water. And then there are several microalgal derived biostimulants because blue green algae are a very good nitrogen fixers. So through this quality, people are using them in improving crop plant growth, in improving plant stress tolerance, as well as improving the soil condition and stability. So thereby they are contributing quite nicely in SDG 15, which is targeting life on land. So these are some contributions which microalgae are playing basically in achieving this sustainable development goals. And not only these are direct one, and indirectly it is somehow linked to all of them, all the 17 SDGs. Yeah.
So great. Nice to know about these tiny organisms, how they're helping greatly in sustainable development goals. So we can go with the second question, ma'am. Like, do you know, tell us about some specific industries or sectors where microalgae are currently being utilized for these goals?
Yes, yes. There are actually if you look into the market sector during the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the global microalgae market was estimated around 3 billion US dollars, right? And it is projected to reach around 4.6 billion US dollars by 2027, and growing at a compound annual growth rate of around 4.3%. So this gives an idea how the market of microalgae is growing in various industries. Usually, the renewable energy sources, the major oil-based companies, they all have their R&D for biofuel and renewable energy sources. They are utilizing microalgae. Although the thing is, the challenge is, we will discuss later, the problem is the cost efficiency. They are not so cost efficient, they are quite expensive, and that is the challenge where we have to work. So like there are several other companies, I can name few, like Elk Bio, which is a Turkey based company. They treat wastewater, sewage, and they capture carbon dioxide to produce biofuel, bioplastic, and biomaterials, and generate carbon credits. There is Sinotech, which is Sinotech Corporation, which is US based company, and they are engaged in basically providing diet supplements utilizing microalgae. And there are some others also, like Alginol. This is headquartered in Florida, and it is also an industrial biotechnology company that is basically commercializing the algal technology for production of ethanol and other biofuels. Also, Life Visible, they have their one small sector which is offering specialized solution for the bioplastics of microalgae. So these are certain sectors, and apart from that, there are various. You can say like micro groups of several big companies where the research and commercialization is ongoing, utilizing the microalgae.
Okay. Great. So, ma'am, my next question is like, what are nutritional benefits the microalgae are offering as food or dietary supplements?
Yeah, as I said already, that there are various benefits because they are due to their rich protein content, and due to there are several secondary metabolites which have various capacity. They are working in various capacities. They act as antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-tumor. They have anti-inflammatory properties, and proven anti-cancerous properties as well. Although I think the anti-cancerous drugs and antimicrobial compounds and anti-tumorous compounds are not yet reached to that level, to commercial level, but the antioxidant sector has been explored quite nicely, and there are various strains, microalgal strains, which are quite rich in omega-3 fatty acids. I can name some of them, like uh, Cryptidocodinium and Schizochytrium ulcania species. They are and Pheodactylum is quite rich in EPA and DHA. These all are omega-3 fatty acids. So, and if you want to there's some data also, like if you consume like 5 gram of chlorella and nanochloropsis, they can provide like 1/4 of recommended daily intake of vitamin B9, right? And 1 gram of chlorella is enough for per day requirement for vitamin B12. So this shows that they are quite rich in these antioxidant, in these vitamins. And also there's one quite researched uh, you know metabolite, astaxanthin, which is sorry, not metabolite, it is a pigment. Astaxanthin, it is a red colored xanthophyll, and this is the second most exploited microalgae carotenoid after beta carotene. And the main producer of astaxanthin is Hematococcus, although it is produced commercially also, but it can be extracted by Hematococcus also. And it's the good thing or the interesting thing is the antioxidant capacity of astaxanthin is around 10 times higher as compared to lutein, beta carotene, and around 100 times higher than vitamin C and E. So this is quite good, and therefore they are a very good target for food and health supplement and nutraceuticals as well.
Okay, nice. So my next question will be, how do microalgae contribute to wastewater treatment processes? Like, what are some of the key advantages and challenges associated with using these organisms in the context compared to traditional methods?
Yeah, so basically, environmental remediation using microalgae, or you can say using biological organisms, is there are basically three different mechanisms. One is biosorption, bioaccumulation, biodegradation. So, microalgae in biosorption, basically from a liquid phase, the material is displaced on the surface of a solid. So microalgae, they have quite the diverse binding sites on their cell wall, and on their the extra polysaccharide which they produce, and they are very effective ion exchangers also. So that way they contribute in the complexation of metal ions, right? So this is
Yes.
one method, and in this way they absorb the organic substances from the polluted water, and they have quite superior capacities. They can reduce like 45 to 60% of BOD and COD from wastewater. And apart from this biosorption, they are also involved in bioaccumulation and biodegradation. There are, but these all different mechanisms are species specific. It's not that only single species can undergo, or a single genera can undergo all of these mechanisms. This is quite like species specific. And apart from this, mixotrophic microalgae are also there, which can utilize the organic carbon as well, apart from the inorganic carbon, right? So they are also added benefit in wastewater treatment plants. And the challenges, I would say, is the energy required, because during this process we need to compress the air, whether it is enriched or not with CO2, and this is an energy intensive process. And this is, I think, it is one of the factor which leads to high operation cost as compared to the chemicals one. And the advantage is that they are not producing any the secondary pollution. They are not only removing the inorganic phosphorus and nitrogen, they are also, due to their antimicrobial activities, they are in tertiary and quaternary treatment plants. They are also reducing the contaminants also, the coliforms also, due to the antimicrobial properties.
Okay, nice. We are getting to know very interesting facts about them. So I hope all the students who have joined here us today will be getting to know more and more about them. So my next question is, another fascinating point about microalgae is about their carbon capture. So how these algae are utilized for carbon capture and climate change mitigation, and what are the primary technical and economical challenges associated with scaling up these processes?
Yes, a very good question, I would say. With microalgae, the increased concentration of greenhouse gases, we can see the increase in temperature, increase in and we are trying to go net zero by 2050. So here comes the role of microalgae in carbon sequestration, and this is basically the removal of carbon dioxide from atmosphere and storing it, right? So, and it's one of the many approaches it is being taken to tackle the change. And I have to say that if you compare the carbon sequestration capacity or efficiency of there are various methods being employed right now, like chemical methods are also there, like absorbing the CO2 on some chemicals. And then the biological methods, if you compare, there is one is like forestation. We are quite adamant to, we are planting trees and doing these things to sequester the carbon. But if you compare the carbon sequestration efficiency, if you compare with plants, the microalgae, they can fix around 10 to 50 times more CO2 as compared to higher plants, which is quite high, right?
Yeah.
And they offer a high potential because and also if you uh, compare the per kg biomass, the microalgae, for example chlorella, they can fix like 1.83 kg of CO2 per kg, which is really high. So in this way they are quite promising, they in CO2 sequestration. And there are certain freshwater microalgae which are being used, like Senedesmus spirulina platensis and chlorella. They are commonly employed for carbon capture. However, still now we don't have a technology. The scale up technology is lacking in this field, and a lot of R&D is ongoing in improving the efficiency in cultivation and in these things.
Okay, nice. So, ma'am, I hope this next question is going to be a question that every student wants to ask here. So, can you share your experience studying or conducting research abroad? And specifically, what were the most significant academic and cultural challenges you faced? And how did this experience impact your personal and professional growth?
Okay, yeah. So, I did actually my schooling and everything was done at my hometown, and later on I moved to Banaras Hindu University. I did my PhD under the esteemed supervision of Professor L.C. Raisar at Department of Botany. And during this tenure, I received the prestigious DART fellowship, and I moved to Germany for 2 years. And basically I am a hardcore microbiologist. And you can say molecular biologist. I started working on some stress induced hypothetical proteins in cyanobacteria in Enavina. And later on I took it up to the level of structural biology, where we found that a particular protein was quite it was expressed under stress conditions. And later on we found that it has a significant role in regulation of food system assembly and these things. So if you ask about the culture and these things at Germany, I would really thank Dad for providing me this opportunity to work there. And the thing was that yes, there was a cultural shock, because they have quite they are quite different. Their culture is quite different than ours. But yes, they were very welcoming, and especially the lab I was working was quite international. It was quite international, so I never felt like that. They were very welcoming, and the thing was they provide practical things rather than theoretical. They more focus on the practicality rather than theoretical things. So it was a quite good exposure there for me. And it also added extra confidence, or you can say extra personality development in my career. And I would recommend students to keep on looking for these kind of opportunities. Until and unless you don't apply, you are not going to get it, right? So just by looking at it, and just by not applying it and just sitting back is not the option. You have to go for it, you have to chase it, and then only you are going to get it. Because I know many of the students, I have helped them in applying these positions, and few of them have also got it. So
Okay.
I think it's not that difficult, because whenever this name comes, moving to Germany or something, for the students at masters and bachelor's level, it seems difficult. But once you chase for it, you will definitely get it. You have to work hard a little, right?
Yeah. That was a very great guidance for all the students here. So, ma'am, like students who want to get skills on microalgae cultivation or like application, like, can they get any certification or courses about these skills?
Yeah, this is something I would say that the reason behind that we don't have such diploma courses or training courses or some skill courses offline, as far as I know. I mean, maybe there are some, but as far as I know, there are no such diploma courses or skill or training courses present at university or institutional level, I think. There are definitely some workshops ongoing in between, and some like short term, very short term, 15 days or 1 week workshops, or sometimes ongoing. But there is a extension course like for a month or for 3 months is, I think, still lacking. And the reason behind that is the lack of awareness about microalgae. People are not so familiar, and it is not reached that commercial or large scale level, that there are not so many diploma courses. Yes, but there are certain online courses. There's one Algae Foundation, and they have their Algae Academy. Also, they have their Algae Technology Education Consortium, and there they are providing algae cultivation extensions, short courses, and that can be done online, and that can like enhance your knowledge regarding microalgae cultivation and processing and things.
Okay. I hope this our live session will be giving a boost to the awareness about these tiny organisms and their important facts.
Yeah.
And so, my next question will be, what areas of research or development do you believe should be prioritized to further unlock the potential of microalgae? Some
So
particular research.
yeah. So as I was talking for like half an hour, so you might have heard like algae are
Yeah.
everywhere. So
Every.
like they have application in every field, whether it is pharmaceutical, whether it is oil industry, renewable energy, or whether it is wastewater treatment, everywhere, more or less in every field, every sector, industrial sector, they have role. But but still we have not achieved that commercial or large scale cultivation or large scale processing. So
Yeah.
so basically you can say too many big promises, right? But still we are lacking behind. The reason, the probably the biggest issue is contamination. So
Okay.
as soon as you scale up, you cannot prevent contamination, right?
Hmm.
And always the cultivation of cyanobacteria, it result in the dilemma that more exogenic growth conditions also increase the cultivation cost, right? So so far we are still, I think, is still lacking a tolerant production strain that withstand contamination, and that can be comparable to the production strain like E. coli, right? Which we are still lacking. And as well as we need some very very robust strain which can withstand the high temperature, intensity, high salinity together. So
Okay.
individual work has been done, but together such kind of robust strain we are still lacking. And I think through genetic engineering we may be able to get certain strains which are quite quite robust, and that can be utilized for all these processes and scale up.
Okay. So, ma'am, in your opinion, what does the future hold for microalgae in driving sustainable development goals?
So basically, there is enormous scope, and if you will look into the literature, you will find like so many reviews are there, so many things are being done. The problem is still at the commercial scale level. So for that, I think we need to develop an ecosystem also for skill sessions, for training sessions, which are required. And I think we need some awareness among people about this microalgae. And there is a need of industry academia collaboration, because academia is working their lab skill processes. It has been not in some cases, yes, they have achieved the pilot scale
Interesting.
success, but at industrial scale still we are lacking behind. And we need that, there's a need of capacity building. And I think with that we will be able to like establish a microalgal based like achievement for SDGs and you know.
Yeah. So, one of my last question will be like, what are can you categorize the environmental benefits that you think microalgae cultivation and utilization offers?
Yes, I think this is something I was telling that they are basically the primary benefit, environmental benefit, is you can say the carbon capture and sequestration. As I said, they are like 10 to 50 times more capable of sequestering carbon dioxide. This is the primary benefit. And to add it, they can be simultaneously used. They can be used with wastewater treatment plants also. So
Yeah.
basically, biorefinery approach must be employed, and that can basically help where you can simultaneously capture the carbon dioxide. You can clean your water also. You can undergo wastewater treatment, and the produced biomass can be utilized further for producing various bioactive compounds, and that can be used in pharmaceuticals and cosmetics and in food supplement, and for aquaculture, for agriculture also they can be used.
Okay. So great. Now we can go ahead with some questions that we can see in chat box. We have some questions here. Um, are there studies based on uses of microalgae to break down plastics?
Yes, there are studies. Basically, they are at microplastic level. There are some studies done where they have found that cyanobacteria or microalgae they can degrade, but the level of degradation is very low. Because microbial degradation it cannot compete the chemical degradation. So the rate is basically very low. And yes, but till now, that in some of the microalgae, some genetically engineered enzymes have been expressed, and they are able to in some diatoms also, the microscopic diatoms. It has been expressed, and they are able to secrete the enzyme into the environment, and such kind of thing I think we can do for the freshwater or oceanic microalgae, which are unicellular, and if they are able to secrete those plastic degrading enzymes, so that could be a good a good thing which can be done in future. But till now, I think there are only 2 to 3 reports where this enzyme has been genetically engineered for plastic degradation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question here is by we can go like how can microalgae be integrated into renewable energy systems?
Yeah, that I think we should have discussed earlier also, because this is one of the like interesting and one of the very promising aspect of microalgae, because so the basic behind the, or you can say the principle behind this is, when the microalgae they are actively growing, their metabolic focus is for photosynthesis and for production of biomass. But when the cells experience certain metabolic stress, like lack of essential nutrients, or so then the cell metabolism is redirected to reduce the growth rate, right, and favor the production of carbon storage compound, mainly carbohydrates and triacyl glycerols. And these lipids, as I said, their lipid content is high. These TAGs they are being used for they undergo a process which is known as transesterification. So the chemistry behind that is, TAGs are basically these things. They have this a backbone which is hydrocarbon, and then they have three glycerols. So in transesterification, we need this hydrocarbon only. So with some catalyst, we convert them to hydrocarbon bit and the glycerol bit, and this hydrocarbon bit is used as a either biodiesel or something like that. So we can use it like that. The problem is it is a three-step process. You need a cultivation, then harvest, extraction, and then not three, four step, and then transesterification. The first two processes, which is cultivation and harvest, these two steps are quite expensive, and these are adding the cost to the biofuels, like microalgae based biofuels. The reason why they are quite expensive, like these two steps are quite energy expensive. They need too much of energy, so we need to work on these two, sir, how we can reduce the cost here, and then we can um, reach to the level, or we can reach the target. However, they have quite advantages as compared to higher plants, because of their faster growth rate, their large CO2 absorbing efficiency, and low nutritional requirement. They don't need any pesticide, any herbicide, or any fertilizer for their growth. They just need some nutrients, and that's it. and then their ability to tolerate at some level the stresses, and they don't there is no competition for arable land, because they don't need land for cultivation basically, which the higher plants need. And also the food security, when you use a plant based feedstock for biofuel, it can create food insecurity also. So I think these are certain advantages, but with that there are some disadvantages also. So there's a need of a biorefinery approach where we can integrate all of these things, so the estimated cost could get reduced. Yeah.
Okay. So, next question here is how can the biomass generated from carbon sequestering microalgae be utilized in sustainable manner?
Yeah, that's the thing which I was discussing already, that the biomass which is generated after carbon capture, that can be, see, people are doing, they are storing it somewhere, like doing the landfills or somewhere like geological sequestration. But in case of microalgae, this is the benefit: you can utilize this biomass for producing the bioactive compounds, basically the secondary metabolites which are being produced. You can extract it, all kind of like pigments, they have their own commercial value. The secondary metabolites, the vitamins, they can be utilized. And also this, after extraction, the remaining biomass could be used as a fertilizer, as a feedstock for aquaculture and for poultry and all these things. So in this way it is quite efficient. The thing is how we can integrate these things. Yeah.
Okay. So, I feel the last question here is like, can microalgae based systems be integrated into industrial carbon capture and storage strategies?
um, Yes, that can be done. The thing is, at environmental level, the CO2 concentration is not that high. If you compare the flue gas, it is having 20 to 40% of CO2, which is released from industries. So, and there are certain oxides of nitrogen as well as sulfur also, which are harming the cyanobacteria, or harming the microalgae, for harming their growth. So this is a thing which can be, if there is a solution, possible solution, if we can get it, then it can be, or maybe we can do some filtration or something like that, and then maybe we can integrate it with industries also. The gas they are liberating, that can be connected to carbon capture through microalgae, and such kind of thing can be done.
Okay, great. That was quite informative, ma'am. So I feel we should conclude our session here. That brings us to the end of today's live session on microalgae, green powerhouse driving sustainable development goals. I hope everyone who have joined here us today found it very informative and inspiring. So if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends to help spread the word, because we will be having this video saved on the page at the live section only. And thank you, ma'am, for joining us here today and providing us with such informative and insightful information. And thank you on behalf of Sustaina Greens for joining us. And for everyone, for my audience, stay green and stay curious. Till then, thank you. I would like to end up.
Thank you, Manvi, and thank you, Sustaina Greens. And I thank Dr. Meenakshi for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on this on the microalgae, on their various potentials. And I hope it would be informative. It was informative for the students maybe, and others. Okay. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
it was. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.